Caravaggio's Nativity with St. Francis and St. Lawrence is famous, not just because it is a masterpiece, but because it is on the FBI's 10 top art crimes. The artist has given us a controversial depiction of the Virgin Mary that challenged the doctrines of the Catholic Church. Rejecting the exaggerations of the Mannerists and the perfection of the Renaissance, Caravaggio pursues unflinching realism. While meeting with mixed reviews during his lifetime, this painting caught the eye of a mafia boss in the 1960s and then was lost to the art world. Caravaggio's Nativity was stolen, cut from its frame in 1969. The rumors and stories that have circulated since have never been substantiated. It seems clear that the mafia was behind the theft, but it is unclear what happened to the painting once it was stolen. At various times, criminals have tried to negotiate lighter sentences, claiming they have knowledge of the work. According to two of these stories, it was destroyed. Whatever happened, the original painting has been lost, likely never to be recovered. This criminal element to the story somehow seems fitting because much of what we know about the artist is from police records. Michelangelo da Mercy has always been referred to as Caravaggio, the town he was from. Sharing a name with the divine Michelangelo was probably frustrating for such a proud man, so he preferred his new nickname. Caravaggio was by all accounts an angry, temperamental man who was frequently in bar brawls, arrested for carrying a sword without a license, and then for killing someone with said sword. Fleeing the police from one location to the next is an ongoing thread in his life. Not surprisingly, he died young at the age of 37. If we set aside his personal life and examine his work, everyone agrees he was one of the most influential artists of the 1600s. His innovative use of light, unflinching realism, and the emotion in his religious work is astounding. When we discussed El Greco and the Mannerists, we talked about their pushing against the restraints of the Renaissance. Caravaggio pushed back on the Mannerist. Caravaggio returned to painting things as they appear, but without the perfection and rigidity of the Renaissance artists. When he painted biblical figures, he didn't clean them up and present them as serene and beautiful with halos. Many were shocked and felt that his paintings were disrespectful. Sometimes patrons, seeing the finished works, refused them. Caravaggio's Nativity was painted just a year before he died and is one that shocked. Mary has just given birth. She is disheveled and tired-looking, sitting on the ground. Her dress has drifted down one shoulder. This is not a Madonna, who already looks as if she is on her way to being enthroned in heaven, but a young girl, tired, recovering from labor. Shocking the viewers of his day was not just the realism, but the theological message the painting conveyed. Many felt the Virgin had a miraculous birth with no pain and no breaking of her hymen. Not only was Jesus' conception miraculous, but so was the birth. Caravaggio's painting is challenging that. In Caravaggio's Nativity, we have Mary, Joseph, the baby Jesus, St. Lawrence, St. Francis, and a shepherd. In the sky, we have the angel with a banner that reads, "Glory to God in the highest." It's an odd contrast, the traditional angel, the saints that are present, and then the non-traditional portrayal of Mary. Including those traditional elements serves to highlight just how unusual this Mary is. The piece was painted for the oratory of San Lorenzo in Palermo, Italy. The inclusion of saints is very common, particularly if the saint was associated with the location the work was created for. In the foreground, we have a shepherd with his back turned to us. Next to him is an open space. When artists present a back to the viewer, we are meant to assume the viewpoint of that person. We're meant to view this scene as if we too are kneeling with the shepherd. In fact, an open space has been left for us to join the circle. If we pay attention to our viewpoint, we are looking straight on at Mary. We can see that we are meant to feel we are kneeling in that open place. We're meant to join in the act of adoration of the Christ child. Caravaggio brought a new realism to his work, and it was new. The Renaissance sought realism in the sense that figures occupied space and appeared fully three-dimensional. The water glistened, the velvet looked plush. But that realism had strict boundaries. These boundaries were about content, what was appropriate, how people expected religious subjects to be treated. Figures might have looked real, but they were idealized versions. Basically, every Virgin Mary had been photoshopped to meet the expectations people had for the Mother of God. Caravaggio's realism was of another kind altogether. He painted real human people who were tired and dusty and overwhelmed. Caravaggio was a pioneer in the use of light, or maybe, more accurately, the use of the dark. Chiaroscuro is a technique where light and shade are emphasized, often with the light sourced from one particular location, creating deep shadows. Caravaggio went beyond that, developing tenebrism. The name comes from the Italian meaning dark, gloomy, mysterious. Tenebrism was an extreme form of Caravaggio, where the darkness dominates the painting and contrasts sharply with the lighted areas. Only a narrow swath of the painting is in direct light. The rest is deeply shadowed, fading into black. Many artists and art critics of Caravaggio's day detested his dark, shadowed pictures, and the critiques were quite harsh. Often, the truly visionary painter's innovations were not valued until after they were gone, and this was true of Caravaggio. His new realism interpreted his subjects with dramatic intensity. The poses and expressions are highlighted with the strong effects of light, much as a spotlight would do on a stage, and much of the painting is black. In summary, Caravaggio has given us a beautiful, evocative interpretation of the moments following Christ's birth. I love the more human portrayal of Mary as a new mother supported by Joseph at her back. I hope this painting encourages you to perhaps view the story through a different lens.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like this video by giving us a thumbs up below, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss great commentary on classic works of art. KellyBagdanov.com is your source for great content and curriculum, as well as devotional materials using the medium of art. Make sure you visit and subscribe. Pablo Picasso said, "Art washes from the soul the dust of everyday life." So take a moment to share this video because art is too important not to share.
See you later, alligator.